Welcome to Tom from Charlotte. This is the conclusion to a 2-month digital detox. Tom will detail things learned and strategies for reducing smartphone usage. Also, if you haven't seen the first 2 videos in the series, check those out first. Please like this video and subscribe. It will give Tom some encouragement. Again, thanks for watching.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to this very late follow-up video to my 2-month project where I was trying to go without a smartphone. During that 2 months, I used this here. This is the Nokia 6300 4G. Generally, I had been using the Google Pixel 6, and I thought today I would go through at the conclusion of that 2 months just to kind of give you a little bit of information as far as things that I observed, things I learned, and provide you with some strategies to reducing your smartphone usage. If you watched the previous 2 videos, you know that I started this 2-month project of not using a smartphone because I started to feel like I was using it too often, and not as a tool to benefit things that I wanted to do, but just as a way of just kind of wasting time. So specifically, I suppose it would be social media applications. And as we all know, those applications are designed specifically to do that. They're designed to keep you engaged constantly, wondering what's next in the feed. So you just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Before you know it, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour has passed. I'm sure you've been there. So anyway, that's why I started this project. So the first thing I want to state is that I'm not a Luddite. I like technology. I just didn't like the way that technology seemed to kind of be taking so much of my time and energy just staring at the phone, not really improving anything in my life, just looking at pictures and videos and seeing what's next. So anyway, that's to recap why I'm doing this project. I wanted to be able to use technology as an effective tool to benefit my life, and I didn't want it to be using me. Alright, so now for a short list of some of the things that I learned during this 2-month project. And the number 1 thing that I learned is that not having a smartphone is a major inconvenience. So many things in today's world require you to have a smartphone in order to interact with it or accomplish things. I think one of the most annoying things of the phone that I chose, the Nokia, is that it didn't do group texting. So every time I would get a text message from a group of people and I would respond, it would send an individual text message to each one of them, which caused a lot of confusion. Number 2, I do a lot of things that require a smartphone when you're away from the house. I like to listen to podcasts and stream music, and use my phone for directions and mapping. And when you're at the house, you can use a smart speaker or your home computer to do a lot of those things, or just a radio if you want to listen to the music. But when you're away from your house and there's certain music you want to listen to, if you have a list built, you have to use a streaming service that runs through your phone if you want to listen to those podcasts and so forth. So it was difficult to not have my smartphone. What I ended up doing after the first month was actually just having both of these phones with me all the time, because I would use my old smartphone, which didn't have any kind of texting or voice, as an internet device with Wi-Fi, and I would use the other one for calls. So it ended up to kind of be a disaster. The number 3 thing I learned is I think everyone has an addiction to their smartphones in some degree or another. I started to become very cognizant of smartphone usage. It's kind of like when you see a new car, you're like, oh, I really like that car. And then all of a sudden, you start to see it everywhere. because you're kind of keyed into it. So when I didn't have my smartphone and I was doing this project, I started to notice how often everybody is picking up their smartphone and looking at it. You know, they're out walking their dog, they're staring at their smartphone. They're walking down the street and they're staring at their smartphone. They're standing in line somewhere staring at their smartphone. They're sitting down with their family, eating dinner at a restaurant, staring at their smartphone. And I just thought it was such a shame. There's so many missed interactions that you could be having with other people, and very ironic as well, because a lot of these people are probably on social media, trying to curate their social media while out in public among people and not being social in real life. So I think the science is out on that one. So social media is not going to give you the benefits that real friendship and connections will. And number 4, I think, is, I kind of already mentioned it, is I didn't actually get rid of my smartphone during this project because there were so many things on it that I still needed it for. So I'm going to kind of cover some strategies that you can use to reduce your smartphone usage while still having it and maintaining it and learning how to use it as a tool. But I'll cover those in a minute. The first things, though, that I want to go over is some of the things that have improved or that I've done during that 2-month period. Okay, things learned, number 1. As I've kind of already mentioned, I've become more observant. Even though I've started using my smartphone again, I still haven't forgotten about the impact that the smartphone is having on people, and I still notice its usage all over the place. I think I've become better at reading nonverbal cues as well, strangely, which kind of leads into number 2. I've also become a better listener, strangely, and I think the reason that is when you're really addicted to these social media apps, your brain, you always want to be going to it and looking and seeing what's next. So even when you're not using it, you're still thinking about the fact that you want to go check it. So even if you're conversing or going about normal life, it can kind of always be running in the background of your head. So with that kind of removed over the last 2 months, I feel like I've, again, become a better listener and more observant. Things improved, number 3. I've had a lot more time that I would otherwise be spending on my smartphone to be able to work on things that are enjoyable or beneficial to myself. So normally I read about a book a month, and over that 2-month period I read 4 books. I'm working on some outdoor skills like orienteering. I've been able to work on that, which has also got me outside more, which is great. I've been working on my photography again and videography. So I don't think these videos are great by any means, but I think if you look at the first video I made as compared to the last video and maybe even this one, we'll see how it turns out. I think they've improved even just incrementally. So working on yourself has been a byproduct. Working on myself has been a byproduct of this project. Number 4, things improved. As I kind of said, I've been able to get outside more often, which is great for so many reasons. Taking the dog on hikes. I've been out there doing some orienteering, just enjoying the outdoors, getting that fresh air and sunlight. Always beneficial. Alright, so now let's talk about some strategies that you can use to reduce your smartphone usage. And this actually might apply in some sense to other technologies if you're also kind of addicted to those things. Again, it might apply, it might not, but specifically for smartphones, here's some things that you can do. Number 1, set daily limits. So every phone maker will have an option for you to be able to set daily limits specific to each application. So for myself, When I first started this, I set a 1 hour limit for Instagram and a 1.5 hour limit for YouTube. And every week I would reduce that by about 15 minutes. So Instagram now I probably spend about 10 to 15 minutes a day, just kind of checking in and seeing what my friends and family are doing. And YouTube I'm still working on. I probably spend about 25 to 30 minutes a day looking at that. Although I'll say there's a lot of things that I'm kind of doing in my hobbies, so I'm watching a lot of videos on that. So I kind of feel like I'm using it as a tool like I want to be using, although there's still room for improvement because I still do kind of see in the feed some videos and I just scroll a little bit, but again, my usage has reduced dramatically. I would recommend though doing what I did and kind of stepping it down gradually. If you try to do it in one big jump, it's not going to work. Number 2, set a bedtime or downtime for your phone. So every night at 8 o'clock, my phone goes into grayscale color. So it takes all the color out of it and everything is just a grayscale. So the phone is just not as interesting to look at when it's like that. Also, most of the alerts have been silenced at that time as well. So I'm not distracted or I don't have to go pick it up to see what's going on. Number 3, designate your bedroom as a tech-free zone. I know a lot of people use their phone as an alarm clock, but alarm clocks are really cheap and if you bring your cell phone into your bedroom, it's just going to be a temptation for you to kind of scroll at night and you're going to stay awake. Also, blue light in your eyes in the last few hours of the day before you get into bed is known to disrupt sleep patterns, so that's not good. Keep your room a tech-free zone. Number 4, during the day, set tech-free breaks. So you can even set like little alarms in your calendar to go off like every hour, every couple hours, or whatever you choose. But what I do is periodically throughout the day, I'm designated to not use any kind of technology, including my smartphone. I'll read a book for a little bit, I'll go for a walk, do something outside, work on photography, something like that. Number 5, and I think maybe most importantly, is just be cognizant of your usage. At the end of every day or in the morning, check your usage for how often you're picking up your phone, how much time you're spending on each application. And if you follow some of these steps, you'll start to see that usage decline, and that'll start to make you feel good about doing something beneficial for yourself. So start examining the way that you use your smartphone and how it impacts your life. Are there other ways that you could be spending that time? Could you be developing your hobbies, creating new ones, making new friends and connections, getting outside for a walk and some fresh air? Even the smallest steps can help. So make technology a tool to better your life.
Thanks for watching this video by Tom from Charlotte on the conclusion of his 2-month digital detox challenge. As he learned, not having a smartphone is difficult in today's world, but there are strategies to take to make sure that you are using it in a healthy way. Tom is already working on some new videos, so subscribe now so you know when they come out.